Hi, hello. It's been a while and I didn't mean for that to happen. So if you watched my very first video, which is actually the only video that is on my channel now because I deleted the couple that were on there because I'm starting again, basically. But if you kind of saw that first video and you might have wondered, what the heck happened? So basically life happened and I started this channel with the intention of having weekly videos, and I made basically a mistake with timing and stuff like that, and it was back in November when I made that first video, and the mistake I made was just doing it at the wrong time in my life. November is always a crazy month for me, for work, for things going on at home. Not to mention, you leading into December, it's festive period, we have a big family, and I just did not set myself up for success. And what happened is I overwhelmed myself and wasn't able to continue what I wanted to do. I think the reason was I was so excited to start that I didn't take all these other factors into account at the time. So this is me, back again, restarting. I think I had like 2 or 3 other videos up, and I've deleted those because they were like weeks 1, week 2 and week 3, but they were in like November and December, and now we're in the beginning of April as I record this, so I figured it's a bit silly to have week 4 months later. So I've left the very first video up, which was the introduction video, because the stuff in that has not changed. Oh, you'll notice my hair is a lot longer, although I'm actually wearing the same clothes. But yeah, I left that up because the first video and me talking about what I wanted to do is the same. It's not changed. But I am going to do a quick recap in this video, even though this video is actually my week 1. So I didn't put a video out to announce I was starting again. I figured I was just going to do a week 1 video with a recap. So this is my week 1 video. So if you watch that first video that I filmed in November, which talks about what I want to do, like I say, I'm going to recap it now, then this is my week 1. But basically in that video, save you having to watch it, I talked about my weight loss journey and trying to take control of what I eat, get out of these emotional eating patterns, get out of these addictions to processed food, stuff that's just basically not healthy for me. And weight loss is one of those strange things, because whenever I've watched a lot of weight loss channels, and a lot of them say that they've struggled with weight loss throughout their life and they finally came to a way of eating that helped it. Now, I've not really had that problem. My weight wasn't really an issue. You know, I was at a healthy weight like 15 years ago, and it's as I'm getting into that middle-aged stage of life that things are catching up to me. Like, I used to be the kind of person that could go out drinking, I could have cheese sandwiches, bars of chocolate, crisps, beers and whatever, and I wouldn't gain weight. And it probably helped that I was active, had young children, so I was on the go and stuff like that. But as life's got to happen, I've changed jobs and things like that, and life's got more sedentary, and I think just that age of when you kind of like hit that middle age of life, those bad habits have started to catch up on me, and I can feel them, and I'm not liking the way my body feels now at the weight I am now. And like anyone who's gained weight, I've done those things, joining the likes of Weight Watchers, slimming programs, tried calorie counting, and while I found that I've lost weight at the beginning, most of the time I've given up, or I think there was like once that I was successful when something happened in my life and we had some emotional times in the family. I slipped back into old patterns and the weight came on and more. And you hear that story all the time when people stop following a certain way of eating, that the weight comes back. And that's because these kind of diets are not sustainable. You could, but do you really want to count calories for the rest of your life? You know, I was recently watching Dylan on Well Your World, and he does these like plant rant things, and he was talking about these kind of diets, and I can't remember how he said it, but one of them is sustainable and if everybody can do it. And if you look at most diets, they don't fall into these categories. And I know like a lot of people, like for example, you look at the keto diet, that is not sustainable for the rest of your life. No matter what they tell you, eating those high fats and stuff, you are heading to high cholesterol and heart attacks and all that, and it's not, you might be slim on the outside, but what are you like on the inside? And then the one thing that really hit home when he was talking about them. I've never done keto because it just felt wrong to me. But what he was talking about was they have to pee on a stick to see if they're in ketosis, which is basically starvation mode. And I believe some of these shake companies do that. I've never tried the shakes either. I like food. I don't want to drink my breakfast and my lunch and just feel that, you know, niggling feeling that I want to go and eat something. And I know people have done the shakes, and when they finish, they've just gone back to gaining the weight and eating things that it's not really food. I'm reluctant to say foods they shouldn't do because it's trying to reframe it that these things aren't actually food. But yeah, Dylan has this good rant about keto and calorie counting and all that stuff. And basically people will find that these work when they start them, because when you start them and you are 100% into these methods, you naturally end up in a calorie deficit and you lose weight. And ultimately that is the way you're going to lose weight, if you're in calorie deficit. But I don't want to do that by counting my calories. I mean, it's Dylan again. He was talking about that if you eat a healthy diet and focus on health rather than the number on the scales, weight loss is a natural consequence of your healthy eating patterns. And that really resonates with me. And it's the same as weight gain is a consequence of eating a bad diet. You are not going to gain weight from binging on broccoli. I've never heard anyone who's done that. You're not even going to gain weight for binging on potatoes unless you turn those potatoes into chips and fry them in oil, and then you actually gain the weight from the oil. So I am vegan, and as a family we've been vegan for about 6 years now, and I want to take this philosophy of focusing on eating healthy and nourishing my body, and I know to do that is to go plant-based, because everyone has this misconception that vegans are skinny and look like they're wasting away. But in truth, I always like to say I'm proof you can be a fat vegan, and my husband goes a little nudges me for saying that, but you know, it's just a joke. But every junk food that is out there for people who eat meat and dairy, there is for a vegan. There is vegan pizza, burgers, oh gosh, I don't know, crisps, chocolate, you name it, anything you can eat, we can eat. And it's not for my body. And I want to make this change. I am 46 and I do not want to reach my next big number and feel unhappy with how my body feels and not feel confident in how I feel, because I know that my excess weight makes me feel shy and self-conscious, because I know that when I didn't have excess weight, I felt good and it made me present myself different in the world. And it is amazing how that happens, and it's almost on a subconscious level that because I have weight I need to lose, I hold myself back from relationships, friendships and things like that. And I want to just feel happy. I mean, I am a happy person, but did you know what I'm trying to say? So I am recording and documenting my weeks, and like I say in my original video, is I watch a lot of whole food plant-based YouTube channels. Most of them have lost weight, so I'll list them below. I think I listed them in the other one, but it's like Broccoli Mum, Chelsea May, High Carb Hannah, Plentiful Kiki. There's loads, and a lot of them will talk. Vegan Mummy, I think she's called Mummy Vegan, and they will all talk about how much weight they've lost and how they did it. But no, I can't find, with the exception of Crocs in the Kitchen, but even they didn't start the exact start of their journey. They'd already lost weight by the time they came into their first video. But I haven't been able to find anybody who has a channel, their very first video, that is them at their heaviest, and then we've gone through their videos every week and watched progress and the ups and downs. By the time people make their channel, their healthy eating habits is a way of life for them. They've lost the weight, they're in maintenance mode, and it's fantastic because they are sharing how they did it. But I just thought I would really love to see a channel, and there probably is one out there, but of somebody going through the journey and through the process and starting at the biggest weight and shrinking through the videos and getting into those healthy habits. So that's what this is for. It's for me to document my journey, but it's also anybody in the same boat as me to maybe get some tips, join along or whatever. So my plan is I'm not really going to share cooking videos and what I'm making because it's just not practical in my house. There are a lot of people live in my house. There is a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old in my house. They make a lot of noise. It's very rare that I get it to be in the house on my own for a full day, so it would not be easy for me to do a what I eat in a day video. I can show pictures, and my Instagram handle is below and you can see what I'm eating on there. Don't post every meal because sometimes I eat the same meal for 3-4 days and it's kind of like boring, like here is potatoes and something again. But you know, if you want to see what I'm eating, it's on my Instagram. But I am going to come on once a week and talk about the foods I've eaten, anything I've learned, anything I've noticed, how it's going, an update on how I feel, on weight, or anything else that comes up. So that's just the goal. It's just going to be a weekly update to see how I'm going, and I hope you join me for that journey. So today I want to talk about my first week, and I've got my head right in the game now, and it's not treating like a diet, it's seeing what is actually food and seeing what is processed, poisonous junk for my body. And I was talking to my son about this. It's like if you have a car, if you keep putting cheap fuel they've made it full of additives and stuff like that, your car is probably not going to live out its full life. It's going to break, you're going to have repairs. But if you put in the pure optimum fuel for that car, the engine inside it is going to run better. The maintenance is on it's going to be easy. It's not going to break down. And basically our bodies, if you think about it, is the only actual part of us is this squishy bit in this bone here is the brain. The rest of us is a machine for this is us. And if we don't look after this machine, if we put the wrong fuel into it, and yeah, it will run, but it will eventually break. You know, 50, 60 years, you see people, they start having heart attacks and strokes, and they get type 2 diabetes and the high blood pressure and all that, and that is because that this machine that carries what is you is just being given the wrong fuels, and you're breaking all the pipes and things that make the machine work as a whole. And that really clicked for me that, you know, this is me and the rest is just a machine to carry me. And I have to look after that if I want to carry on being here, if I don't want to end up with stents and high blood pressure tablets. Not that I have any symptoms, but I'm 46. In another 20 years, if I carried on eating processed food, where would I be? And so that is my plan of what I want to eat. So, like I say, this is me talking about first week. So I kind of cheated, but it's not really a cheat. I found Broccoli Mum a few months ago. Since I'm maybe before I made that first video, I don't know. It's recent, within the last 6 months, I found Broccoli Mum. And she's probably clicked the most with me. And I don't know if that's because she's just English and a lot of the products that she buys I can buy because I have the same supermarket she does. Because a lot of the Americans I follow have like Costco and, oh my gosh, what's the other one? Trader Joe's. That's it. And they have things that I can't buy. And I don't know what the equivalent is. But Broccoli Mum, when she's buying things and making things, I can go and get those because she'll talk about like Tesco's and Asda. Well, I have Tesco's and Asda. And she has been doing, I think she stopped now, but she did 3 weeks of what she called a potato reset. And she had a meal plan up and I purchased that, and then she had a little Facebook group of everyone doing this potato reset. And I thought, this is what I'm going to do. Potato reset, group of other people, all sharing our meals and our ideas. She's being supportive. She's doing what I eat in a day videos every single day, pretty much, for this potato reset. And so you can kind of do it along with her. And I did, because her plan is amazing and it's easy. And the other one is that she has 2 children, and so she makes meals that are just quick and easy and she can throw together, which is what I need. I don't have the same kind of responsibilities, but my life is busy and I need to be able to eat in a way that can fit in with my busy life. So I didn't stick to her plan 100%, and what I mean with that is so she had a 7-day meal plan, 21 meals of what she was eating, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Now I didn't stick to all of those meals. I changed things because she likes to eat sweet potatoes, and for some reason I don't like them. They make me want to retch. Just the thought of eating one is like, ugh. I did try some of her recipes, like she had a chocolate pudding made out of sweet potato, which was nice, but after like the first go it just didn't work for me, and that's okay. So what I did was changed meals that I liked and what suited. And the other thing I didn't do that wasn't 100% on it is, so she wants potato reset, you need to eat potatoes in every single meal, and I tried that. And so I tried taking cold potatoes with me. There's no point in taking hot, because by the time I get to them I just don't have time to eat them. Sorry, by the time I get to them it's been a while, so if they're heated up they're going to be cold anyway. So it's just taking cold potatoes, and what I found when I tried that is I was avoiding eating this cold potato. I just didn't want it, and so I was eating bananas because I was still sticking to the 100% plant-based. So I decided to go back to eating my oats. And disclaimer here, because I know if anyone's following this kind of meal plan, it's kind of derailing because I've done this, but this is just me and what's helped me. So oats suits me. Having overnight oats works for me. If I'm going out or I know I don't have time to make breakfast, making overnight oats and having that in the fridge works for me. And it is literally oats, water, milk, chia seeds, flax seeds, and a little bit of maple syrup for sweetness. And it's 100% plant-based. It's, you know, there's nothing bad added to it. The maple syrup is 100% pure maple syrup. It's a little bit, so it's not like putting in a syrup, a man-made syrup, and then my other 2 meals were reset friendly, and it's worked for me. So a little bit of what I've eaten this week. So Broccoli Mum has on her meal plan this cheese sauce, and my god, I swear it has practically gone on every meal. So I've seen lots of these plant-based cheese sauces that people have made, and they're actually made out of potatoes and carrots, and that sounds really weird, but I thought I'd try them. And the one she has in her meal plan is amazing. I've been making big batches of it and just put it on everything. And so this past week I've had like things like steamed potatoes, and I've either eaten them as steamed potatoes with cheese sauce and veggies, or I've cut them into chips and baked them, and then veggies and cheese sauce. I made Hasselback potatoes with garlic and rosemary, and then a side of veggies on it, and then the cheese sauce on top. There's a theme here. On the couple of occasions I didn't have the cheese sauce, when I fancied some mashed potato, I had this onion gravy, which was a recipe I got from the Happy Pear, which I'll also link down, and just had mashed potato, veggies, and then this onion gravy all on the top, and it was so delicious. And basically I've centered my meals around potatoes. Broccoli Mum also did this potato and broccoli bake, so it's grated potato, grated broccoli, some courgettes in there with the cheese sauce stirred in and just baked. It was delicious. And yeah, I've had a really good time with food, and they're all on my Instagram. I also made some soups. Mostly it was pea soup. It was supposed to be pea and mint soup, but I didn't have any mint. I had peas, so what I did was put other little bits of veggies in. So I had some leeks, some white cabbage, and I just threw them in, put a little bit of parsley in, boiled it all up till everything was soft, blended it, and I had that as kind of like a preload. Now the preload has been really working for me, especially done at lunch, and it's been really good. There was one day I even used the pea soup as like a dip for my chip. So I made like a bowl of wedgies, put the soup in the middle, and was just dunking my wedgies into the soup, and that worked really well. But I've had a good time with food this week, and I've done a lot of batch prepping. So I have an Instant Pot, and I'm not kidding, I must have steamed about 60 potatoes this week, because everyone in the family's been eating the potatoes, and I have just been filling the Instant Pot with potatoes, putting it on, leaving it when they're steamed, putting them in the box, putting them in the fridge. I've made this cheese sauce, and I've like filled my blender with it, put that in a box in the fridge, made a big pan of soup, put that in the fridge, made big thing of gravy, that in the fridge, got new potatoes, just boiled a couple of bags of those up, and they've got in the fridge. It has really helped me stay consistent, because one of my problems when I get busy and overwhelmed and tired, my decision making, like anybody else's, goes out the window, and I will reach for toast because I cannot be bothered cooking, and toast comes with butter, and I don't just have 2 slices of toast. If I haven't had dinner, I'll have 2 slices toast, then another 2 slices of toast, and while I'm waiting for that toast to ping in the toaster, I'm buttering bread and eating bread and butter, and it's not good, and it doesn't satisfy me, because then I'm reaching for the crisps and the chocolate biscuits, and you can see it's this horrible pattern in the evening. So I have been just bulk preparing, and this meal prep stuff doesn't take long, because I am making things that I'll just throw in, set a timer, leave, come back, turn off, box up and put in the fridge, and that has also been amazing for me this week. One of the other recipes I made actually was from a mixture of Broccoli Mum and Dylan from Well Your World. So Dylan and Reeves put up this What I Eat in a Day, and one of their meals was, is it taquitos or something? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but basically it's like a samosa kind of filling in this kind of wrap, and I wasn't using the wrap, but I made the filling, and because it has mashed potato in it, I scooped a load of filling out of some baked potatoes, mashed it all up, put it back into the potato skin, baked it, and poured cheese sauce on top of it. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. But it's just doing things like that where it's centered around potatoes. And if you have a look at this picture, this is me meal prepping on a Friday morning. It took me about half an hour, and most of it just cooked itself. And you'll see this little box in the middle is some oat clusters. That's obviously also a recipe from Dylan. I made those. They're really good when I want a snack when I'm leaving the house in the morning, if I know I'm not going to get breakfast for a couple of hours. But yeah, this is just an example of me doing a quick meal prep that'll last me a couple of days. So what I found this week is I don't eat as much as I actually thought I did. So I always thought I was a volume eater, and that's one of the things that Broccoli Mum talks about, is being a volume eater, because when I've eaten processed food, like if I have a Domino's pizza, I can eat that until I am painfully stuffed and still have dessert. But what I have found eating this way is I've been filling my plate up with the amount of food that I think I can eat, and I've not been able to finish it. And it's almost like eating this way has given me this natural hunger, fullness cues that I can get. And so that's been really good for me. So what I started to do is not make my plate as big, like just put a small portion on, and then if I want more, I can go back and just add more because I've got all this stuff prepped. What I've been finding is that I don't go back for more, that smaller portion actually suits me, and it actually fills me up for hours as well. I have had days, we have this idea of eating breakfast, lunch and dinner, and that's just a concept made by food. If we lived out in the wild like animals, we would just eat when we were hungry. Like, you look at any animal, they don't go, oh, it's lunchtime, I must go and get some food. No, they just eat when they want to eat. So it's been trying to do that, having meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, and telling myself that, sometimes I'll eat my breakfast or my first meal of the day, and 1 o'clock comes around and I was like, this niggle that I need to go and eat because it's lunchtime. And then I remind myself that no, I don't have to eat if I'm not hungry. And sometimes I'll go through to 5 o'clock and that's when I'm starting to feel hungry. Or I'll have my first meal and my second meal and then I just don't want that last meal because I'm full. That's just been really interesting for me to learn that about myself. And I also found that in general, I'm falling asleep easier. Like, I'm not feeling horrible and sluggish, and I'm waking up better, and I'm not having that tiredness in the afternoon, that kind of lull. It's not like I've got more energy, it's just like my energy isn't dissipating the way it normally would. And I'm just feeling better inside. And when I've eaten a meal, when I'm full, I'm not sure if I can describe it correctly, but like when I've eaten processed food and I'm full, I would feel almost uncomfortable with it. You can feel that food for ages in your body and it just feels, and when I've been eating this way, my body's been feeling so much better. Like I don't feel stuffed, just feel satisfied, and my body feels good. I'm not even sure if that makes sense, but that's what I found this week. It is amazing just like how 1 week has made that difference to my body. I also found that I'm not craving junk food, and I can walk past it. My husband's had a chocolate bar and I was like, yeah, I'm not bothered. And yeah, it's been good to find this thing. So my goal is to lose 60 pounds through this journey. That is not my main goal. My main goal is to have a healthy body, and I'm hoping the 60 pounds vanishes as a natural consequence of putting the correct food into my body. And I know sometimes that weight will go up and down because weight does just fluctuate, and I'm going to try my best not to focus on the number. It's very hard when you've been in this diet mentality for years, trying to heal and fix those parts of healthy eating, but I'm going to try, and that's what this is, where I can just talk about these struggles that I might have. I might get some moaning videos, but yeah, this week has been really good. And one of the things I noticed, I actually felt like I was overeating, as weird as that says. And like, there was one day I had 3 meals and I felt like I had eaten so much and I felt like I'd been greedy, and so I listed everything I'd eaten. So I'd had porridge in the morning, overnight oats in the morning. I'd had a banana, which I know you're not supposed to on the potato reset, but I just love bananas. I'd had soup, then I'd had some wedges with some cheese sauce on them. Then later I'd had Hasselback potatoes with more veggies, with more cheese sauce on it. And that was it. That was all I ate all day. But I felt like I'd eaten a ton of food. And when I listed it, it wasn't really, it just felt like I had. And I think that is because when you go into these diets and it's kind of like this deprivation, you feel like you're missing out. But when I got to the evening and I was full and satisfied, there was nothing to miss out on. So I didn't feel like I need more. I actually felt like I'd eaten enough, and it was very weird to not have that craving feeling. So it felt like I must have done something wrong. It's just a weird thing. So probably one thing that people want to know is, did I lose any weight this week? Yes, I did. So I actually lost 3 pounds this week. Some people that won't be in much, and some people that will be fantastic. For me, that's a fantastic amount. I didn't expect to lose 3 pounds. I'm really happy that I've lost 3 pounds, and I don't be nice to lose that every week, but I'm not going to focus on that. That's just a consequence of putting good food into my body. 3 pounds is gone, and I feel good. So yeah, that's it for me for this week. I shall come back next week after another week of healthy eating, although I'm going to have one day that's a little bit hard because I am going away for a night, and is navigating eating out in restaurants, which is a little bit hard, but we'll see how we do. Anyway, until next week, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you'll get notified every time I post a video. And I'm going to do this now because I have set myself up to follow through. Bye.